Hello everybody, Demon Jester J here with 5+ questions to a mile maker. And my guest is...
Doug, Critical Hit Games.
How you doing today, man?
I'm doing good.
Thank you for being on the show.
Yeah, no problem. Love to have you. Love to be here.
Ready for the 8 questions?
I am.
Alright, let's start with the first question.
Okay.
Who are you, and please tell us about yourself and your hobby. And also, do you have more than one hobby?
Well, as I said, my name is Doug. I currently play War Machine quite a bit, but I'm just getting into 40K. And kind of my thing, as far as the hobby goes, is terrain building. I do most of the terrain for my local hobby shop that just opened up in March.
Cool.
And as far as having more than one hobby, I actually love programming with Arduino, which is a microcontroller.
Yeah, I know what Arduino is. I want to get a Raspberry Pi so badly, it's not funny.
Oh yeah, there's a guy on Craigslist who's selling them for $25 a pop. I'm like, yes.
All right.
Yep.
Anything else to question, or are you done with that one?
That's really about it. I started doing terrain about 6 weeks ago, honestly, and that wasn't very long. I started doing what I did.
All right. Let's go to number 2 then.
All right.
Number 2, what got you into your hobby, and how long have you been into it?
Actually, my grandmother got me into my hobby.
Well, that's first.
I see that look. You don't get that one very often, do you?
Yeah, grandma. Wow, that's cool.
So when I was a kid, my mother used to buy me miniature airplanes and stuff like that. My actually favorite thing was World War II German planes.
Oh, cool.
And my grandmother, like every grandmother, just kind of knows the general idea of what you like, not really what you like. So there was a hobby shop closing in New Jersey. She picked me up the cheapest models they had, and with that, it was a box of Warhammer Fantasy Battle Bretonnian Cavalry, I think is what they're called.
Oh, wow, that's an old box.
Yep. Yeah, super old. That's why I was closing down. And so I found those and then learned that was part of a game. I think that was when I was 11, I think.
Wow.
And that's kind of how this whole thing began.
All right.
So go grandma.
Yep.
Yeah, that's about it. That's what started it all.
All right. Let's go to number 3 then.
All right.
When and why did you start making YouTube videos, and have you met anyone from YouTube because of it? And this is not just in real life. You could say I met like people online and stuff like that too.
Yeah. Let's see. I started doing YouTube, like I said, probably about 6 weeks ago. The local hobby shop opened up, and they were really in need for terrain. They built the tables, these really nice, perfectly, put together tables, but had nothing to fill them with. And so as I started looking online for videos about easy and simple beginner terrain, I realized there's really not a whole lot out there. There's great terrain resources, but a lot of them require skills that if you don't already have, they're a pain to learn. And so I decided to just start making stuff up, and then I thought, well, why not have a camera on when I do it? My wife's a photographer. I grabbed her camera. I think my first one was the Pi 10 crater, which I made about 12 of.
I see that video. That's really cool. What made you think about using a Pi 10 though?
Honestly, my cat slept on a Pi 10 and made a huge dent in it, and I was like, oh, that's a freeway. So because of my enormously fat cat, I started my YouTube videos.
Irony.
Yeah.
The cat helping you make a YouTube video? Talk about the word of irony on that. All right.
So that started the first one, and then I got a really lot of positive feedback.
Oh, yeah, that was a great video.
Yeah, at the Privateer Press. And so, I just kind of blew up, started doing other stuff, had the objective marker next, and then just kind of took off from there.
All right.
Yep. Next question.
Yep. This is number 4.
Okay.
Do you have any tips for anyone new getting into hobby? And this is including making YouTube videos.
Okay. As far as terrain, as far as getting into the hobby that I'm kind of into as far as terrain goes, you got to buy foam, which is like the insulation foam, and you got to buy a knife. And then from there on, you can develop skills as needed. As far as making YouTube videos, I've found that the shorter they are, the way more views you get. Because now YouTube has a system where it depends on how many minutes are watched. And I found the average time people watch my videos is about 2 minutes. So you'll notice from now on, I have the last 3 videos I made. They kind of went from a switch from like a really long tutorial, like 6 minutes long, to now it's like a 2-minute terrain thing. And that was a good lesson to learn. Because not everybody's ready to sit down for 12 minutes of pie-tin action.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Like with these interview videos, they do go long, but I tell people, put it on, listen, make something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and obviously there's different lengths of videos for different things. A tutorial should be pretty basic step by step if that's what you're doing. And something like this, you can go as long as you want because it's a different experience that you're wanting to watch.
Yeah. All right. Want to go to number 5?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, number 5. This used to be like a fight in the forums and all this back in the day. It's the airbrush question. And
Yep.
do you like an airbrush or paintbrush, and why? Or do you use both?
I have used both. I prefer a paintbrush, just because if you read my blog or follow the YouTube videos, I'm all about beginners, and beginners can't dump how much money on a brush and compressor, and so I tend to stick to brushes just because it's easily accessible, affordable, and honestly, I like holding something while working on it. To me, that's just like the point.
All right.
And I do use an airbrush. Some of the projects I use them. I'm not like the biggest fan of them, but yeah, that's about it.
All right. Let's go to number 6 then.
Okay.
What was your favorite mini or model to paint and build, and why?
My favorite mini was probably the Ironclad from War Machine. So after my grandmother got me those models forever ago, I had a small Grey Knights army, then I kind of sold them off when I moved, and then just this last year I've gotten back into miniature wargaming, and I bought the War Machine Signar Battle Box. And the Ironclad, to me, if you've never seen it, just Google Ironclad Signar.
I've seen it.
Yeah, it just looks beastly. And, all I have is soldiers from 40K, and so, these little guys, and this dude's just this big monster with a big old hammer. Kind of just reawakened whatever was in me that I loved doing that at the beginning. It was just really instrumental in getting me back.
I just like the gameplay of War Machine, to be honest with you, because it's the only game that if you kill the head guy, the game's over.
Yeah, I love it. Friends tell me what it's about. I'm like, well, it's like chess but on steroids.
Exactly. That's what I say.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really the model that got me back in the swing of it.
All right. Let's ready for number 7?
Yep.
Number 7. What's your opinion of a model maker to a war gamer, or is it a happy medium in between?
I find that I find it hard to find a medium in between, to be honest with you, with the people that I know in my circles. I find that gamers, I think, too often kind of separate themselves from the model making. And the systems are fun. War Machine's fun. 40K is just a fun game.
Yeah.
I feel like they rob themselves of a really fun opportunity. They don't care about the fluff. They want about winning the game, kind of like a chess player. And then I think you're just missing out. There's so many books and resources about the fluff and the story and how ridiculously awesome some of these models are that you're just missing out. On the flip side, I'm more of a model maker. That's where I started. But I also feel like I kind of miss out because I'm not really role-oriented as far as the games go. And so I feel like I miss out because, they made these models to play a certain way and to look a certain way on the tabletop. And I kind of miss out on that.
Yeah.
And so, a lot of the armies that I see at my local hobby shop are unpainted, or just, they spray painted it blue for ultramarine, but didn't even like put the white shoulder patch or anything like that. Like, literally just an army of blue people. It doesn't make any sense.
Smurfs.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's just a shame.
All right. Ready for the last question?
I am ready for it.
Number 8 is, who do you think I should ask these questions to next and why?
I'm going to give a shout out to a guy on WordPress named Hollow Jacob, and I can send you his link. He, have you interviewed him before? I don't think you have. I went through your movies list. And,
never heard of him.
Yeah, he, every 2 weeks or so, he puts a new batch of images of an army that he's created for 40K, and they're like huge, elaborate. He does ridiculous, like conversions and modifications. You got to look through his Tyranid army list. It's unbelievable, like straight up. He also does a lot of stuff for War Machine. He does a unit review for his army. It's his Crix.
Honestly, with the War Machine,
yeah,
I want to get the new army that just came out.
Yeah, the retro is it Convergence? That's what it's called, Convergence, like Cirrus or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
The robot guys, they're sick looking. But yeah, he does just awesome unit reviews. Just out of his own free time, and it's a great resource. He's very encouraging too. If you add him and talk to him about his pictures, he's super encouraging, nice guy. And yeah, that's probably the only one I found that I didn't already see a video of you having.
All right.
Which means you're doing a good job. So.
Well, it's getting people is the hard part. Having them on the show is the easy part.
Yeah, right on. No, I understand that. I try to get some of our local people to be on a video for that's like why terrain is important. Some different discussion on it, and man, they were just not having it.
It's not easy. But
yeah, it's really not.
It's the way it is.
Yep.
All right. You'll give me that link to that guy so I can do that. Now, This is how I say thank you. It's shameless plug time. Whatever you say now goes into the description down below. And it's time to plug everything. You can plug your Facebook, Twitter, anywhere you can find you. If you want to do shout-outs to some YouTubers that you know, do that. Anything you say, just give me an email with the stuff in below. That's all I ask. And when you're done, just say, I'm done, and I'll end the show. So it's your time.
All right. So if you want to see my work, if you're interested at all at Beginner Terrain, you can visit my YouTube channel, which I'll send a link to. Also, I have a WordPress blog. It's basically just the YouTube channel, but I kind of save them, archive them there, along with some really nice, pretty photographs with my wife's camera. And that is at criticalhitgames.wordpress.com. And I post everything on Instructables just because there's a huge lack of content for me wargaming terrain there. So I try to spread it out to pretty good visible areas. I also want to give a shout out to Hollow Jacob for being very encouraging. When I first started terrain building, he was one that was like, this is really awesome. Maybe you should try this and things like that. That's the best feedback you can get. And also thank my YouTube subscribers. I don't have a ton of them, but I hope that I will have more. And the ones that I have are awesome. Just constant commenting and just adding, seeing stuff they like to see. And yeah, and I think I'm done.
All right. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And like I tell everybody, that's the end of the show, guys. Like I tell everybody, keep blade sharp and the hobby fun. Bye, everybody.
Bye.